reminds me of the area, which is changing now, but the area across Wayne Avenue from the Oregon District and the Lutheran Church. I used to live overseas. It was my first apartment in town. And that was a problematic area in the evening because everything shut down at 4 or 5 o'clock, and it was public streets, but there was no activity except problem activity. And the middle plan looks like that to me, that it might be offices and things like that. Roads have been introduced that nobody has ownership of. They're just roads. Anybody can be driving them. Anybody can be walking them. And unless we're going to kind of have regular policing of that area, just endlessly circling, that just, to me, looks like a plan that's going to cause problems in the future.
This is great feedback.
I think to protect neighborhoods from future data or the green space should have some sort of deep restrictions so that everybody comes in and buys the development and your customer wants to add a parking lot or some more buildings and get rid of the green space, that we can protect from that, sure to have that buffer.
There are a couple other things that you all could do as part of the visioning exercise, because I guess I've heard a lot of conversation about the other side of Alberta. We're all used to these really narrow, deep blocks. Maybe one of the options on Alberta, on the west side, is to have some shallow lots with some houses. So you've actually got the folks that have the houses on Alberta right now are looking at houses on the other side, but they don't eat up so much of the other side because they're shallow lots. So, that might be an option too. There's another technique where you could create the appearance of more green space, and that is, for example, the tree lawns along Warren Street. In South Park, a lot of tree lawns are like 2 or 3 feet, and you can't really expect that you're going to plant a tree there that's going to grow to be a great tree. Is maybe that piece on Warren, since you had the opportunity here to maybe change some of the character, is maybe on Warren Street, for the part that's going to be redeveloped, maybe you have a 10 or 15-foot tree lawn. And I know that the city's had conversations long-term about transportation enhancement on Warren Street. You want to bury the overhead wires, and if you got bigger tree lawns, you could actually plant canopy trees that over a long period of time will tunnel over Warren Street. If you have a bigger tree lawn, the ability for them to really thrive over the next 30, 40, 50 years, you're going to have more of an opportunity to be able to do that.
That's something you're going to
say something kind of at that point. We talk about what the market bears about some of the commercial space that hasn't really been on the other end of the ground. I think it's great to have a big buffer if it is all commercial, but I think we should keep our minds open to the concept of more residential, because what the market will bear right now is more definitely, I think, niche housing, which would be more of the empty nesters that we discussed, a lot of nesters who are very active in certain utilize the university and certain hospital. So if we can see a significant amount of that residential, I think it could strengthen the neighborhood on a lot of levels, and then the commercial pieces that will supplement what the city really has already offered, but it would serve to have a stronger market and some of the other big things that we support, primarily residential piece, really, offers beautiful, we wouldn't necessarily have to have it
And to pick up on that too, if the housing, which we discussed a little bit earlier, was radically different, not trying to be 21st century Victorian housing, which is almost always a disaster. Honestly, the cost of the craftsmanship of that is just ridiculous to build. But really did fit a different design aesthetic, maybe something that appealed to people who wanted their own space, but like block-style housing, but wanted it to be an individual single-owned property. Something that could attract new people to sell apart rather than competing with the housing stock that we already have.
Personally, we really feel that this is just a great area, and there's so much in close proximity that it's why South Park's doing so well. People have discovered that this is a great neighborhood, not only because of the people in it, but I'm close to everything. I can walk to the pub, I can walk over to Brent, I can do this and that, and so it is. It's a great opportunity to maybe explore, some other opportunities in some specific niche housing. go, back here, then Teresa, then you go.
I would consider the thought out, maybe as a center of innovation, that this large area could be such a showcase for, like the smaller tech companies that need to take from pictures to that kind of so forth. This could be an example to the country of what Dayton has to offer as far as all that technology. For instance, there's a record conservation permit down that one of the boards for the new micro calculation, the one of the boards for technology that could create like zero energy through the walls and the technology taking the walls up. I'm just saying this could be a wonderful forward-thinking as we want Dayton to continue to be.
You make a really good point, because one thing we haven't mentioned, Steve, I'll let you do 30-second commercials, that's also located within the aerospace hub, and some of you may or may not be familiar with that, but I'll give you the 30-second commercial on just what that is.
Yeah, the aerospace hub is a really work in large initiative where it's actually an urban strategy where we marry our industry clusters that we think are going to be important in the future, which tend to be focused around aerospace, sensors, RFID, and those types of things, with an urban strategy in terms of creating a place where the creative class, once they're familiar with that term, but a walkable area with all the amenities came from that area. So from that standpoint, it's a workforce development piece because you create this kind of energy and environment that attracts companies because companies like to be where their employees want to be, and young employees tend to like to be in these urban environments we can walk in. So essentially, that's what the strategy is, and the borders run from universities to the south to Texas. So you think about where South Park is located, especially we're talking about it's right smack in the middle of that shop.
What's the east and west of that?
Roughly follows Patterson Boulevard. To the west would be Jefferson Street downtown, Patterson Boulevard, generally speaking, on the west. And on the east includes all goes up to Wayne Avenue, to the Oregon District, South Park, and then it leads around with the Western Station around.
3 months from now, some developers on the best idea I've ever heard, we're going to do it. What do you guys think we should put these plans together of a timeline? Not all the certainly future timeline?
Well, our hope is to release an RFP for development by the end of this fall. Again, we can't control, what kind of responses we'll get back. Steve, do you want to address this a little bit? You have more experience over the years on this kind of thing. It really depends. It depends on.
I'd say, we do an RFP in the fall. Come spring, summer, some level of construction starts. It could take, might be not spring of 12, spring of 13. Build out to be anywhere from, most likely for the whole area, 5 years.
35 years.
So I guess my question is, plans here and stuff, but in everyone's experience has done this before. If you build a cable company, you'll use this can actually happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, somebody will take you up. That's my question. Oh, yeah.
All the things, all the calls I get, all the contracts. What I think sounds like is missing is really get to the next level in some aspects of commercial. We need that big 8 to 5 kind of like go around if it's the right commercial. And I think it's just being aerospace, hub or whatever you want to say, the hub, get a potential to just being more professional, which could be cool. The other thing that we're really lacking is housing for the uncensored. So, I agree with what Kate and Jonathan was saying, is, the 20 and 30 something love housing. I just turned away 20 leads in the last month. I don't have enough rentals, so we don't have enough quality.
So while this is cool, they can need some other housing and furthering development within the neighborhood to bring more ground up to decent caliber. I mean, we've got lots of slumlords in the neighborhood, but, you know, yeah, so but I really see this lacking the investor. We've got, you know, people want, even if it's cottages, people want one level, a little bit of ground they can play in the dirt. I like the green space, but I really like that feature point. Feature what? Or the feature point is the corner of the rock on here.
Yeah, at least from aerial view.
I think you currently have that on the other two, just without a canopy, right? Is that the same thing, just not a canopy on the other two?
This side over here?
Yes. That's all green space in all three.
Yeah, there's all three.
Okay, just says,
Like Mark mentioned, there's some major utility lines that run under there, so you can't build, which is, you know, okay, because it's just another opportunity for.
the wider boulevard actually doesn't make a big difference.
And while we're on just the design concept, as somebody drives over every single day, the north corner of the Cliburn Manor property, the little triangular bump out is the most annoying, and I'm surprised there aren't more after it. That little, the fact that ground comes in and then Alberta bends to meet it before getting Burns is strange. And people coming down Burns making a right-hand turn there, especially because that's all open for parking. If there's a car park there, they come around, and I have come, you know, within a few inches of somebody who's coming around that corner. And if there would be a way of cutting a little bit of that off or something, since roads are being kind of reworked there, that would be helpful. That's an odd thing. I don't know how that ever happened when they first.
Let's bring that engineers.
No, I know, but that they didn't bring Alberta to straight and then have the angle.
They do that now today.
I was trying to figure out if that happened there or not. I couldn't tell.
Thank you. Did you still have a
Have you
question?
considered the housing? Could we go to a green set policy on housing in the building that night?
And someone else mentioned that too. I think a lot, you know, if we build anything anymore, we're definitely going to focus on green building. I mean, why wouldn't we? So that's definitely on the drawing board. Yes.
Really, looking at housing, really, I went to an early university for graduate school for industry. There was enough housing, but it was actually true. And the possibility of those people was actually true. Don't we really have enough housing? Are we servicing housing down as aren't there houses that will check the dilapidated and just walking away from?
Yeah, we do have a 20% plus vacancy rate, but I would contend we have a mismatch of product with what the market today wants. Dayton is a single-family city, and almost all the housing here, we've cornered the market on two-story frame, lead-based paint, late 1890, late 19th century houses. And one could argue that we've not been able to have enough sites to be able to respond to the marketplace. I mentioned the comment earlier about patio homes for empty nesters, you know, or 20 or 30-somethings. I don't know how many of you know Chuck Chambers' building in Oregon. It was the old Fred and Sylvia's Tavern. It's a one-story concrete block building. They used to shoot people there. It's probably 18 feet wide by maybe 60 or 70 feet deep. And I think what he did with that building is a great urban adaptation of a patio home where you could have zero lot lines and line these things up. It has a private courtyard, it has its own parking space, it's all on one floor, 2 bedrooms with the ability to have a third for a swing space or a small office. I think looking backwards, you're correct. I think looking forwards, assuming that the market has really changed here. And I do know, for example, in the central business